Wait, so he scored one free kick against United and you put him...
Yeah, what's the definition of a street baller, man?
All right, I should have defined this, actually, audience, earlier. So I found out the definition of this. Streets will never forget meaning is a player who bossed it for a brief period of time before falling off the radar.
Yeah, one game.
Hi guys, and welcome to the Whipping It In podcast, the podcast you didn't ask for. We're stuck in quarantine, Ramadan has started, and we're all talking about the top 10 players the streets will never forget. With me today, we've got Lewis and Rahat. Do you want to say hello, guys?
Yeah, what's up, everyone? Hope everyone's doing well. Everyone's staying quarantined and staying healthy and stuff. And then also Ramadan, like Naz said, yeah, just welcome to the podcast and enjoy listening.
So yeah, just to piggyback off what Lewis said, hope you enjoyed the last episode. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Give us some feedback. We're always open to criticism and like how we can improve. And yeah, this is going to be a good episode. We're going to throw it back a little bit, talk about players that we remember fondly from the past when we were growing up, and players that the youngsters might not know today.
So I think it would be good to say all our lists first, and then we can break it down on who should be 10th, who should be 9th. And this is going to be an easy podcast, just talking about why we feel this player should be in this position, what they've done in their career, what we like about them, etc. So for me, in my list, if we click on that, so I've got in 10th position, Brede Hangeland, Adel Taarabt at 9th, Andre Arshavin at 8th, Cisse at 7th, Dembaba at 6th, 5th is Rakia at Santa Cruz, 4th is Benjamin, 3rd is Ben Arfa, 2nd is Payet and Dimitri Payet, and number 1 is Michu. Who have you guys got?
For number 10, you're going to probably laugh at this list. DJ Campbell, Blackpool, Freddy Eastwood, I think he played for Southend, Adel Taarabt, 7, Hangeland, Pape Cisse number 6, 5, Arshavin, 4, number Rakia Santa Cruz, Igala number 3, Dimitri Payet number 2, and then main man Michu number 1.
Nice. Player number 10, Benjani number 9, Balotelli number 8, Arshavin number 7, Dembaba number 6, Kale number 5, Payet 4, Adel Taarabt 3, Michu 2, and Hatem Ben Arfa 1. There we are.
Ooh. Okay, interesting pick. So, just going back to it, I've chosen Brede Hangeland at number 10, and I'll go through my reasons why I've chosen him, and then you guys can tell your 10th position. We can try and negotiate a way there. So, he's a defender. He played for Fulham, and I'm talking about his season in 2010-2011, where he scored 6 goals centre-back. To describe him, he's like a tall, lanky, ugly defender, strong in the air. And one of the few things that highlighted for me is Fulham finished 8th in the league table in that year. And that year they only conceded 43. But what kind of interesting is United won that league that year and they conceded 37 goals. So it's a 6-goal difference. And it shows that he was a real solid centre-back to win the league. Like, okay, they didn't score as much, but the fact that they conceded as few was part of his work. And he's a fantastic centre-back. And also, I think he was everyone's fantasy football pick during that time. Like, everyone picked Brede Hangeland. Like, he was just there and thereabouts. He was a top player. And I loved him as a centre-back, just heading everything out. I don't love Fulham, but he was a good player. So.
I had Hangeland as well, but a lot lower down, so like 7. So I really rate Hangeland as well. But I said like all the facts you said as well. What were you gonna say, Rahat?
You said you mean higher up. You said you had them lower down.
Number 7. I don't know. High up, lower up. This is why you go to school, kids.
Don't be like that, sweet.
That's brilliant, man. Number 10, I got Freddy Eastwood. So a lot of probably younger audience probably not know about him. So Freddy Eastwood, he played for Southend. Yeah, and then he scored this magical free kick against United, where United had like all the big boys in, so like the Ronaldos, the the Rooney's, O'Shea, Brown, Sylvester, Hines, and these were all during like their peak. So like,
Did you just say Sylvester Hines?
yeah,
It's like
he's underrated, man. You forget Hines.
What?
He was in the World Cup squad for Argentina for 2010, man.
Nah, you can't say this World Cup stuff, man. Oh, man.
Where's Brown, man? Look at him. Where's Brown? John O'Shea.
When
Got
you said
Ronaldo.
O'Shea, I was
That's
already
like-
like, just let him say
Nah.
it.
Oh,
No, but these are good players now. These are Premier League players. And then you got Freddy Eastwood, 30-yard free kick. It's a lower end championship side, man. It's underrated, man.
but this is the Premier League, man. You got to pick a Premier League player. You can't choose Championship players.
Nah,
man.
man, I'm picking Freddy Eastwood, man. I put some recognition on my guy, man.
Wait, so he scored one free kick against United, and you put him.
Yeah, what's the definition of a street baller, man?
All right, I should have defined this actually, audience, earlier. So I found out the definition of this. Streets will never forget meaning is a player who bossed it for a brief period of time before falling off the radar.
Yeah, one game.
That's like saying Macheda for United against
Yeah, like
Aston Villa.
More like 10 minutes, isn't it?
Oh,
I find that
all
number
right,
10.
all right. Sorry. Yeah, go on. Fair enough. Fair enough. Who have you got, Rahat?
Did he score another goal in that game?
Nah, he just scored the one free kick. 27-minute goal, man.
So, yeah, like I want to say, like Naz just said, before everybody comes and starts hating us that their favourite player isn't in, it is only Premier League players, so like, sorry, we're not going to mention Kaká or Payet Nedved, or the Brazilian Ronaldo. One guy I want to shout out is Morten Gamst Pedersen from Blackburn. He had a rocket over left foot. And who can remember? Do you remember that dive he did against Arsenal where he was just running and then he looked back at the ref and then just fell? So, yeah, so he's just like my honourable mention. I wanted to put Lewis Garcia in here as well, but I figured everybody would call me a biased Liverpool fan, so I didn't. Anyway,
That's your one,
my
man.
number 10, Gareth Bale. The streets haven't really forgotten about him so much since he's still doing like street stuff. Do you remember when Wales qualified for the Euros? He held up a flag that said Wales Golf Madrid in that order. So he's still out here trolling people. But yeah, I mean, peak 2013-14. You got the slick back hair, yellow boots, rolled up sleeves. He was really a
didn't
Welsh
like Robin.
Robin. Yeah, like a Welsh Robin, isn't he? Except he always did it from like further back. You know where Robin would be on like the inside the 18-yard box. Bale would always be scoring like long range bangers. So, you know, burst onto the scene. I know it's outside the Prem, but remember that hat trick against Inter Milan where he scored the same goal a few times?
That was nice.
Going down the left and hitting it. 42 goals for Tottenham. 21 of those came in his last season. Just an all-round baller, to be honest. Like when he started running, no one could stop him. And then when you did stop him, you just say he dived, and then you just carried on.
Yeah, he was a really good player. Lewis, to make this easier, I think we have to take your one out, man. It's like fame, man.
Hey, man, put number 11, man. He's a number 11. He's 11 in my books, man.
Listen, Freddy Eastwood, we respect you a lot, man. Okay.
Yeah, we will respect you if you listen to this podcast and, you know,
Yeah.
come on. But for this one, we can't put you in. So how are we going to do this? So we got basically Brade Hangeland and Gareth Bale. It's like opposite ends of the spectrum. So it's you, Lewis, man. I think you've got to decide. But who you got to like pick who do you think would make it? Because Bale, for me, the issue with Bale is I just keep thinking of Real Madrid in my head, and he's this world-class player. Like, he's not the streets. Do you get it? Like, it's that perception of such a world-class player that you can't call him the streets. But statistically, when you look at it, he's only got like 40 goals, so you can consider that. But it's just his Real Madrid days keep coming in. See any argument for Hangeland? Do you see anything?
I thought Bale was too established because, like, especially he's got he had the world.
Yeah, that's why
record.
I put him 10 and not like 1. Because like he's, you know, ahead of anybody else on my list, he's probably accomplished the most. Like he definitely has.
I'll probably put like I go with Bale, man. I go with Rahat, man.
Okay, interesting. Bale, nice. For Untitled Chapter, number 9. Who have you guys got?
I've got Benjani Morawari, the Zimbabwean striker.
For number 9, I got DJ Campbell. So probably the younger audience probably won't know him. So he was a striker in the Premier League for one season. only. So like when Blackpool won the Premier League, 2010 to 11, and he scored like 13 goals. He nearly kept Blackpool in the Premier League. Like they lost by like 2 points, I think it was. So if he scored one more goal, he would have kept the Blackpool safe. And he scored against Man United, Liverpool, and it was only him. And it's a two-man team basically for Blackpool. So like Charlie Adam and DJ Campbell, like getting the goals, assists. So I put him at number 9.
For me, I've gone at Delta Raptor this position because when I looked at his stats, I'm focusing on the 2012-2013 season. He's got 5 goals, which is probably, I think, his best season. And that season, I think QPR did get relegated. But what he did do well was he was a wizard. Fast feet, beautiful goals. And he had skills that would make you go like, you know, it'd keep you on your seats. He was that type of player. And he was strong on the ball, kept the ball well. And I know we've all kind of probably had a Delta Raptor somewhere in our list, but I've kept him lower because of goals mainly. I think he could have scored a few more, and I see because he shoots from long range quite a bit, and you know his shooting accuracy wasn't as good, but compared to the other strikers that we have, like for the seasons. But
Benjani, here's a funny story about him from his time in Portsmouth. So in his first season, he only scored 1 goal. And I think that was somewhere towards the end of the season, and it kept Portsmouth up from being relegated in the Prem. So he got a bit of like a fan love for being, you know, scoring the goal that kept them up in the Prem, despite not scoring for the whole season. So the season after that, he got a couple of goals in, and he's a bit of a fan favourite, you know. And then Manchester City came in with an offer for him, and then Harry Redknapp was telling a story that he told Benjani that Man City had come in for him and he's got to go. But Benjani's like, no, I don't want to go to Man City. I like him in Portsmouth.
as you say it, as you do.
And then Harry Redknapp's like, you don't really have a choice to get on. And then he's having to like physically push Benjani onto the plane. And Benjani's just like, I don't want to go to Man City.
Yeah.
So he was forced onto Man City. He only got the paperwork done with only a couple of minutes left to spare. And to be fair, Man City, he didn't do that badly. I mean, obviously he's not Aguero, but he scored in his first Manchester derby. I think he was the winner in the 2-1. And yeah, he's got a bit of like, you know, bit of cult recognition about him. I know a lot of the Zimbabwean Premier League fans run with him. He's one of 4 Zimbabwean players to play in the Prem. The 3 others being Bruce Grobbelaar, Liverpool's mighty keeper, Peter Ndlovu, and Aston Villa's marvellous midfielder, Marvelous Nakamba. So
You've done your research.
Yeah.
We come back prepared, man. We're prepared for this podcast.
He's got notes on.
Yeah, big up Nash from the Zambia, man. Wait, I thought was it Nash from Zimbabwe? Where's Nash from?
Yeah, big ups Nash, big ups
Yeah.
TK, my boy TK, big ups Sandy, almost Zimbabwean homies.
Yeah.
Right now.
Stay safe. Yeah, continue. Sorry.
I mean, I put Benjani higher, only because I mean it's FA Cup. The FA Cup win kind of made me feel like he should have been a bit higher. He was a goal machine, and he had that that strong esque about him. Like he can hold off the ball, power shots. You know, he was a really good player. I think we should put him higher.
So, what number did you put Benjani? Sorry.
For Benjani, I've put him 4th.
4th.
Yeah, I put him 4th. Argue it somewhere, but I think he should be higher.
Tarap should be higher because I got Tarap 2nd.
What?
I put his players that you don't know, like DJ Campbell. Like, he's a one-season wonder, man. 13 goals in the Premier League, nearly like top scorer for Blackpool.
Can we put Benjani higher? Are you guys agreeing that Benjani can be higher on our list?
It depends who you take him out for.
We could be here for a long time.
Yeah. I thought this was going to be a quick podcast, but we're going to have to go for it. Go for the ring.
Man.
All right.
For my Zimbabwean homies, I got to insist Benjani's this year.
Go on.
Yeah.
All right. I'm happy with that. So Benjani at number 9.
If you don't follow us after this, then it's going to be like, oh, no.
We'll know where we've lost our followers.
Yeah.
After this Rahat. So number 8, I've got Arshavin. Who have you guys got?
Why always me? Mario Balotelli.
Do you have his statistics?
Balotelli, but when you
Yeah.
talk about Balotelli, you don't talk about statistics. You talk about his stories.
Notices.
Yeah? In March 2011, he was throwing darts at a youth team player at a training
Don't
ground.
try this at home.
No, don't. Or don't try it ever. Like, throwing darts at people is not a good idea. And before that, he'd already been sent off twice and crashed his car.
You're making a case for him.
Listen, man, it gets better. So there was a one time in a friendly that he was on through on goal and he tried to back heel and score and then he missed and then Mancini subbed him off like straight away.
Oh, that was in US, isn't it? Yeah, where he could have passed to Xhaka.
This guy is even laughing about it, man.
Listen, man, I think this was just before Why Always Me, before he scored that the goal against Manchester United. But yeah, so he set up fireworks in his bathrooms. He surprised the school. It was some college in Manchester. He rolled up in his Bentley. I was like, "Yo, can I use your toilet?" and then he was just like chilling with the students after that. There was one story about him. I'm not sure if it's 100% accurate, but apparently he paid for everybody's petrol when he went to a petrol station. He was just like, "Yeah, yours on the house now." So yeah, we don't really need to talk about his stats so much. If you want to talk about stats, he had one assist, I think, in his Manchester City career, and it was to that Aguero goal. So what a time to get an assist, huh?
Yeah.
Last game of the season. Who have you got?
Last game of the season.
I got number 8 at Rahat, so I'm guessing he's going to go probably higher up in the list. So
You guys don't rate her up that much then.
if I define a FIFA player, it would be Adel Rahat, like a player that doesn't just only attacks, just defend, that doesn't defend. That's Adel Rahat, man. Like FIFA player. I think it was like Gary Neville was saying, he's a FIFA player, man.
But that's why he's so street, isn't it? Because like he'd never try and score a simple goal. Like he'd never just try and score a tap in. It'd always have to be like some 40-yard backheel Rabona flick.
Yeah.
That's why he's so street, isn't it? Because like all he ever does is just mess around. Like if he ever just got his head down, he'd be a lot better than where he is today.
Yeah, no. So that's why he's going high up the list, man. He's going high up.
So
like, 80, yeah.
With Arshavin, everyone remembers him for the 4 goals against Liverpool. His goal against Barcelona, and the main reason he was picked was because of his 2008 performance. He's a great player, fast, nimble, agile. But I don't know. I think Arshavin should be in 8th position. I don't think he should be higher.
Would you say Balotelli would be higher or not on the list?
Nah, not on the list, man. For those reasons mentioned. That's the kids just don't do any of what he did. That's not for the streets. Even the streets, you wouldn't do that, man.
Don't try it.
What do you think, guys? Can we go Arshavin or? Because I don't know. With Balotelli, he's a great player, but he's just penalties. I can only think of penalties. It's not like streets,
What the goal with the shoulder ones?
True. That is pretty street. That is pretty street.
That's very street.
That's street, man.
On the basis of Arshavin scoring 4 goals, it's like a very memorable performance. So I'm willing to let that in. With Balotelli, it's more of just an experience of like. It's like a story you tell of someone who just like kept doing dumb things. So yeah, I'm not mad at. I'm a little sad Balotelli isn't in there, but I'm not mad at Arshavin.
Cool. So we got Arshavin at 8th. 7th, I've put down Cisse, Newcastle's player. Cisse striker. Who have you guys got?
I put his strike partner Demba Ba.
I got Brent Hangeland.
Are we back to Hangeland?
Oh gosh, Hangeland again. Cool. For me, I've put Cisse in this position because his goal against Chelsea defied physics. I think that goal was there's levels in it. There's certain goals that bad men score, and just if we ever did a compilation of all the best Premier League goals, top 10, his goal would definitely be at least somewhere in that 10. It just you can't replicate that. It's such a phenomenal goal. But apart from that, he had a great strike partnership with Bar that you said, Rahat, and I feel like he's in the 2013-14 season when Bar moved to Chelsea. He helped Newcastle save relegation, and I think you got to big up because it's Ramadan. His prayer celebration with Demba Ba, man. You got to give him respect for that. Those two used to do that, and then.
To be fair, mine is kind of like a joint. Mine is kind of like Demba Ba.
Yeah, that's the issue. I thought about that because I thought putting them together.
Like, they had a very good strike partnership. They had in their first season together 29 goals between the two of them. I remember when Pape Cisse first came in, like he couldn't stop scoring. Like I'm sure at some point he tried to miss and he kept scoring. Fun fact about Demba Ba, he loves strawberry syrup. In an interview, he was asked to tell the interviewer a secret, and he was just like, "Oh, he loves strawberry syrup."
Doesn't sound creepy at all, does it?
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Is that good for you?" And then Demba Ba just goes, "I guess." In his total time in England, 99 appearances, 43 goals. It's not shabby, it's respectable. 43 goals and 99 appearances. Plus, I don't want to mention it, but he did score that goal against Liverpool,
which was trending on Twitter this week, if you guys saw that.
It's a little bit of like bending the rules, but Demba Ba and Cisse together.
Yeah, similar positions. So I chose like Hangeland at 7, but I put Cisse at number 6, so slightly higher up a position. Hangeland, I thought for like his price as well, so like £3 million and going to the UEFA Cup final, like 2010, 2011 set. He was the second highest scorer for Fulham. So he scored 6 goals. Imagine how lack of strike force, man, Fulham, man. So like I think Dempsey had like 10 goals. So I hate to be a Fulham supporter during that time, especially when you got Hangeland at 6 goals. But he carried the team like Naz earlier said. Him and Mark Schwarzer at the back. They were like they kept the clean sheets. They kept
BTEC, John Terry, and Peter Cech. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's why I put them at number 7. But yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like with Hangeland, we should have put him in. It can't be that high. So, because I get it. No. I don't know. I think it has to be between Cisse and Demba Ba, man.
Put them together, innit? I mean, they are at their best. They were a strike force. You know what I mean? Demba Ba and Pape Cisse. So
that takes out a position earlier from mine. So cool. We'll do that then. I think. Bar and Cisse at 7th. So number 6, I would have had Bar, but I guess I'm going to put Rakia Santa Cruz. So he played for Blackburn, and I'm talking about the highlight season for me was the 2007-2008, where he scored 19 goals in 37 games. He was like a fox in the box type of striker. And some described him as Paraguay's best ever player. And they finished 7th that season that he had 19 goals.
Number 6, I had Pape Cisse, but he's already gone already. So I had Arshavin as well, like honourable mentions. Yeah, so all my players have been gone, man. Load up the list.
I had Arshavin at 6.
Yeah.
So Santa Cruz gets it. Hey, yes. Rakia Santa Cruz is the day, man.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Oh, it's as simple as that. Okay, cool. Santa Cruz in 6. So 5th position. Who have you guys put, or who could you guys think you could put forward?
I've got Timmy Cahill.
Okay.
You guys are a legend, man.
He is. Tiny Tim.
Justify, man. Justify.
Around about 288 appearances for Everton. Held down the fort. He was kind of came in as a centre midfielder and then just sort of like crept up slowly forward. And now I think he plays predominantly as a striker. I know for the Australian national team he plays as a striker. But yeah, when you think of Tim Cahill, you think of his boxing celebration that inspired so many other celebrations to come, like, headers, for such a small guy. He's a beast in the air, He's just like, he can get up there with the best of them, just head it down. He's got good, strong neck muscles. And I think for his 2006 season, he was actually in the top 50 Ballon d'Or nominations. So that was like, I think the first time, and possibly only time, an Everton player got into the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, held down the fort in Everton for so long. He's a very memorable player,
For me, number 5, it was Arshavin, but I might change it to Odin Igala from Watford. So like his first.
He's still playing though.
No, but would you know him if he played for Man United? If he was still playing for Shanghai, would you think?
Personally,
Yeah, because with Igalo, it's a weird one. Because I feel like with Igalo, it's the only reason. If he was still in China, I would have considered him because he did have a couple good seasons. But I don't know. It's because he's come back to United. It's kind of a weird one. But I do understand because he's on loan, so it's not like he's a permanent move.
And he's still in the league. He's still in the league. Like, how can you forget a guy if he's still here?
True.
No, but he might go back to China, man. Like once he's gone back to China, ain't no one gonna remember.
Nah,
him.
no one's going back to China, bro. I'm telling you, he's a free transfer, but he's not going to China.
But it's 300,000, man. They were looking to give him a wage increase as well to stay in China, man.
With Cahill, he's just too much of a legend for me. Like with Tim Cahill, I feel like he's because of longevity and because it's streets, isn't it? I don't know if I can put him in because it's not like he had a few, like 3-4 good seasons. He had like 7-8 good seasons. Like he's just too consistent of a player.
Is
like
he too popular?
Yeah. That's the only reason.
So who do you put in a 5 then?
They put DJ Campbell, Freddy Eastwood back in, Hangerland back in.
Hangerland. Wait, who did you say? DJ Campbell.
Freddie Eastwood, Hangerland.
Oh, so move the list up and then put DJ Campbell at the bottom.
Somewhere in, I think
number 10.
Yeah, put it number 10 and then just move everybody up one.
Cool.
Yes, DJ Campbell got in, man.
So we decided to put DJ Campbell in the 10th position and move our orders back. So halftime sort of list. We've got DJ Campbell at number 10. Number 9, we've got Gareth Bale. Number 8, we've got Benjani. Number 7, we've got Arshavin. Number 6, we've got Ryan Cisse. Number 5, we've got Santa Cruz. I'm going to put Adel Taarabt. I'm pushing it, Adel Taarabt in this.
Number 4.
Yeah. And I'll justify it. I think for me, he's going off the things I mentioned earlier. He's a really good player, wizard, skills. He doesn't score the easy goals. He scores those, curling R2 finishes on FIFA. Those lovely, lovely finishes that you just replay back after the end of the game that you can't stop watching, and it's so smooth that it goes in. Like those goals are really nice. So it doesn't go for the easy. I'm going for Adel Taarabt at number 4. What do you guys put?
I had Payet at 4 and Taarabt at 3, but I don't mind switching that. I'm not mad at Taarabt at 4.
I think that confirms it. Taarabt at number 4 then.
Cool. So that's as simple as that.
Who watch a Adel Taarabt highlight reel and then you know exactly what kind of player he is. Like ultimate FIFA Street kind of player, isn't he?
Oh, beautiful. But for me, I'm gonna go for. So we've decided, I guess, Payet in number 3. The addition of free kicks in Payet's game was phenomenal.
The amount of free kicks he scored.
Yeah.
That free kick against Crystal Palace, the one where the swerve was unbelievable. That one.
Yeah.
And for me, the one against, I think it was Middlesbrough, wasn't it? That free kick was pretty nice as well. And he scored 9 goals in the 2015-2016 season. Got into the French Euro 2016 team, and they reached the final, which was pretty good. Skillful player is. I just love him as a player. Like every team was linked to him, wasn't it? Everyone wanted Michu on their wing. Sadly, his attitude stank like my breath. But apart from that,
wasn't that bad.
Apart from that, number 3. Do you guys want to add anything else? Sorry, his Middlesbrough goal was a solo goal where he just took out the half of their team and he scored, but it wasn't a free kick. So do you guys want to add in why it's number 3 for you?
Kicks like nice, a lot like his free kicks as well, like amazing free, especially against United when they finally won against United. I think it's at Old Trafford. So you guys, if you're looking at tricks, you're looking at free kicks, you're looking at finesse skills, you're looking at skills. This Payet, man.
Along with his skills and his goals, he's got a lot of assists as well. Like he's got a good couple of assists. He can like pair that side of his game. Like he's got a good delivery on him. Can whip in a really good cross. And I know he plays Carroll for a bit, so putting up crosses for Carroll to like knock down, things like that. So he's got like a lot to his game. You know, he's got that FIFA Street side, but then he's got like a bit more of a serious, productive side that Tarap didn't have. But to be fair, Tarap was just having fun. Like he was just like he didn't really care so much of as many goals as how many knockbacks he could get. So
Yeah, cool. So we're coming up to the top 1 and 2, and I think for all of us, we pretty much have similar ones. But before we come on to the top 1 and 2, should we chuck in some honorable mentions that we felt could have, apart from Balotelli, could we say some?
I've got one.
Go on, Lewis. Who do you want to kick off with?
Ravel Morrison. Like, people heard of him? No, but I think Rio Ferdinand said he was the best player in the youth academy for Manchester United. So he was with like Pogba's. He was highly rated by like Sir Alex Ferguson and Rio Ferdinand. He said he was the next best talent coming up, even with a squad of like Pogba's. You had Jesse Lingard's. So that just shows you the importance of how much. And if you look at the highlights, the YouTube highlights of Ravel Morrison, you just see him not making players left, right, and centre. So I loved him, man, as a street footballer. But on like in football matches, I think he was thinking too much of like skills, tricks, and I think that's what kind of led me to like as an honourable mention as Ravel Morrison.
For me, I want to mention Emmanuel Adebayor.
Oh God.
Just because of that game against Arsenal, like I don't know what beef he had with Arsenal, because like I'm sure he just left and like he wanted to leave, so he left. But then his first game against Arsenal, while he was playing for Manchester City, kicked Robin van Persie in the face, stamped on Cesc Fabregas, or maybe the other way around, and then when he scored, sprinted the length of the entire field just to celebrate in front of the Arsenal fans.
Oh, don't forget, he headbutted Nicholas Bentler as well.
Well, in the same game?
I don't know if it was the same game, but I know Nicholas Bentler was bleeding for sure.
He was, for me, Emmanuel Adebayor was like kind of the ultimate mercenary, you know? He was just a lot of it in it just for the money. And for me, just for that performance against Arsenal, that was very... it'll go down in Premier League history as a very notable, not good, notable performance. Like, I still don't know what beef he had with Arsenal. Like, did they insult his mum or something? But yeah, why he took revenge out on half the team?
It was ruthless for him, that celebration.
Yeah,
They chucked like hamburgers and like
they did. Yeah, they did.
half-time lunch at him, innit? And then oh God, that was funny. So I think for me, I really love Ramirez. He was like a baller, man. He was that little guy that like. Just like, you know, them, I don't know how to describe. He's got that Kante type of body that would, you know, he could keep running for days. Like, and his goal against Man City was a really nice one. We just took out Company. I think a couple of defenders, not Company, maybe a couple of defenders. He scored that. It was really nice.
He loved the chip, didn't he? He loved the chip.
Yeah, against Barcelona, that was a really nice goal. So he was really, really interesting player, and he was great energy in the team. And he was on a bargain, I think, like under 10 million. So he was like really, really great player. So going back into the list that we've chosen. So for me, I've put Ben Arfa at second. I put Michu at number 1. And Michu at number 1 because he's probably had the best. That season was like phenomenal, and then he just dropped off the face of the earth. Like, you know, Swansea fans, you guys can talk about it because you were there watching him. But for me, as an outsider looking at it, like Swansea finished 9th in that 2012-13 season, and then he got called up for Spain. Yeah, exactly. Celebration is phenomenal. Loved him as a player. Like you kept him in your fantasy team. Everyone had him, like, and they put him as captain because you never know when he was going to get back a couple in. So yeah, I put Michu at number 1. But Ben Arfa, I think for me, number 2, he just goals. I feel he could have had a few more goals that maybe would have contributed, but still a baller.
So I got it's like same as Naz. So like Ben Arfa at number 2, you got Michu at number 1. Like also like to add is like the price tags as well. So like Michu was a 2 million buyer. Like he wasn't expected to do much. He was replacing, I think it was Fabio Guarini from Swansea, and then there wasn't much expected him in. And then he scored like in 35 games in the first season, he scored 18 goals, and he propelled them to like Europa Leagues. I think they played against Napoli, where they unfortunately lost and stuff like that. And then he's a great player, man. So like also Ben Arfa, I think he was doing so well for like Newcastle, but then something happened to him, and then he went back to Marseille, and then he couldn't reproduce the results he had at Newcastle. So these are both like really skillful players, and like they had a lot of skills. And like when I played with them on FIFA, they were the players to choose. Like you choose like I was choose like Swansea for Michu, and then it was amazing, man. Yeah.
For me, I've got Michu number 2 and Jose Pesingwa in number 1.
What?
Okay. I got Ben Arfa number 1. So yeah, Michu, 18 goals in his one season and his only good season for Swansea. You know, immediate cult hero. I think they won the League Cup that year. So he got his hands on some silverware, and for I think it was 2.5 million he got. So he really inspired this trend of trying to look for bargain buckets from Spain. And I really think Michu, or like the purchase of Michu, is what inspired Brendan Rodgers to sign Iago Aspas. Just trying to get some sort of like cheap striker from Spain who's going to immediately become a baller. But then, you know, Iago Aspas, he tried, but he didn't become a baller. Not like Michu anyway. Ben Arfa, number 1. I got him number 1 just because he was scoring solo goals before scoring solo goals was cool. Like he was kind of like one of the starters in this trend of running past the whole team and slotting it in. You know what I mean? Like I think he was one of the first to probably put that kind of goal, and his trickery, his dribbling, his skill set. He could pop up with a goal or two out of nowhere. You know, he had that in his box just to like turn a game on his head, just because he felt like it. You know, wonderful delivery, racked up assist, and slotted it in. Because that's the ultimate like FIFA Street. Like if you're playing like 5-a-side with your friends, you know, what's the kind of like the best goal you can score? You pick it up from like your defense or the goalkeeper, dribble past everyone or slot it in. Like, except he did that in the Premier League. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and be in the middle between this difficult debate. So Lewis, let's say you've got Michu at number 1. Why should we pick Michu at number 1 over Ben Arfa?
Yeah, so I'm thinking like the price tag. So he was a 2 million buy, so like not much was expected of him. And then first season he comes into Premier League, like a lot of people have difficulties adapting to the Premier League. And then in the 35 games he scored 18 goals. That's like 1 goal in 2 games. Yeah, just under that. So it just shows you, and like the importance as well. So like Rahat said he won the Carling Cup. So also he was replacing a lot of players such as Fabio Guarini when he was doing really well for Swansea, and they had to sell him to, I think it's Liverpool. And that just shows you, and how do you replace a guy like that? And then Swansea like got 2 million buyers. So that's what I felt was really different. So like about Michu, no one expected him to be where he was playing at, the level he was playing at. So to get the 18 goals. So I think they still had Danny Campbell, who was the main striker, Danny Graham, sorry, and he was meant to be the main striker. So let's see how it worked out for Michu, man. And that's why I chose him at number 1, and then Ben Arfa at number 2.
Do you have any final words for that before the hammer?
Yeah. Ben Arfa's Muslim, so you should put him up top. But no, I mean, he's got so many magical goals. Like I said, that one solo run against Bolton. I think Ben Arfa really put that type of goal on the map, because before him, I don't think there really was a goal kind of like that. Obviously, there were players similar to Ben Arfa in terms of like their skill set, their trickery, their dribbling. He was like a wizard with the ball, isn't it? Like, you know, it's like he was glued to his feet. You know, I don't think he rarely took like a bad touch. If he was dribbling, like, he probably end up getting fouled or something like that. And just in terms of highlight reel, I know Michu scored more goals, but I think Ben Arfa scored the better goals more often, even if they're a lot less than him. Like, he scored 13 goals over the course of 3 seasons compared to Michu's 18 in one. But within his 13, I think likely to find more highlight reel stuff that you'll see like on Instagram. Just be like, did somebody actually? It's like he's playing at the park. It's like he's playing, 5-a-side down at the park with your friends, something like that. Just casually, just doing whatever you wanted, really. So in terms of that highlight reel factor and that X factor, if you want to call it, in terms of just having that special something, that special flair ability that I think Michu didn't have as much of. That's why I've got Ben Arfa number 1.
Oh, this is such a hard one. This is like, this is such a hard decision to make. Probably half of the internet, Twitter, Instagram is going to destroy me on this, but I'm going Ben Arfa. I think with Ben Arfa, you when you think of street football, when you think of like 5-a-side playing with your friends, you think of that guy that will take on the whole team. Like, that's Ben Arfa, man. Michu, yeah, you could argue, but we put Rocky Santa Cruz down lower, and he arguably had scored more goals in one season. We could have put him higher, but we didn't. And the way we picked our teams, it's not based purely on goals. We've picked Payet in our top 5. Payet and who else was it?
Taarabt.
Yeah, Taarabt. And we probably thought about skills more than goals. So here you have it, guys. We've chosen Ben Arfa in the number 1 position. Let us know if you think we're talking rubbish. What is your picks? I'll end off with the list that we've finally put together. So in 10th position, we have DJ Campbell. In 9th, we have Gareth Bale. 8th, we have Benjani. 7th, we have Arshavin. We've put together Bayern Cisse at 6th. We've got 5th, Rocky Santa Cruz. At 4th, we've got Adel Taarabt. Number 3, we've got Payet. Number 2, we've got Michu. And number 1, we've got Hatem Ben Arfa. Thank you guys for listening to the podcast. Do you agree with my decision? What do you think about that? Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you think with our picks. And yeah, do you guys want to round off, say anything else, end it off?
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you think we're full of trash and we've got the entirely wrong top 10. And hope you enjoy this. Wash your hands, stay safe.
Yeah, I just add as well, probably the same as everyone else. So just stay safe. Enjoyed the nice weather we're having at the moment, rainy weather, and just stay safe. Everyone's in difficult times, so let's stick together and let's get through this. Thank you again, and if you got any ideas for any videos, just put them in the comments and subscribe. Yeah.